Good morning, students. Welcome to our class, Biological Science. So, dear students, we have already started our lesson, Reproduction. In the previous section, we discussed about the reproduction and modes of reproduction, especially about the sexual mode of reproduction. In the sexual mode of reproduction, we discussed about the fission, budding, fragmentation, parthenogenesis, and regeneration. Okay, in that regeneration, I have given an example. That means some organisms can produce their offspring from any part of their body, and unfortunately it cut into pieces or broken down. It can continue its life as an individual. I have given the example tapeworm, but in your textbooks it's there planaria. Okay, so planaria. So I gave the tapeworm. But in your textbook it is there planaria. Follow this planaria. Why I am given this one? They both are platyhelminthes family. It's also correct, but it's not belongs to the our textbook diagram. So that is planaria. Okay. Now we are going to. I already told you that they both are belong to the platyhelminthes. In the classification of organisms in 9th class we discussed that. Okay. Platyhelminthes family, because of that I gave that name, but in our textbooks planaria is there, follow this planaria. So now we are going to discuss about a sexual mode of reproduction in the plants. It is known as vegetative propagation. In higher plants, the vegetative propagation may take place either naturally or artificially. You understand? Now we are seeing that natural vegetative propagation. Okay, in higher plants, the vegetative propagation may take place naturally or artificially. The natural vegetative propagation example is from the leaves. In biofilm plant, we can see that the new plants are growing from the edges of the leaf. Okay, so leaf is the vegetative part. From the leaf, the new plants are growing. Okay, in the what is that? Natural vegetative propagation, leaves. In the bryophyllum, in plant bryophyllum, the new plants are growing on the edges of the leaf. Okay, next one. Roots and stems. From the stems. The aerial big stems like runners and stolons. Okay? Runners and stolons. They are aerial big stems. The aerial big stems like runners and stolons, when they touch the ground. For example, runners example, watermelon. They are going like this. On the ground, watermelon is forming. Okay. It is soil, these are the roots. So, in the aerial roots like runners and stolons, aerial big stems like runners and stolons, when they touch the ground, they give an adventitious roots. They give an adventitious roots. When this root part or when the stem part which have the adventitious roots, it cut from the parent plant, it leads its life as an individual. Do you understand? The aerial big stems like runners and stolons, when they touch the ground, they give off an adventitious roots. When the stem parts cuts from the parent plant, okay, the stem part which have the adventitious roots, it continues its life as an individual. There are different types of examples is there for these stems. Those are stolons, jasmine and strawberry, corns, colocasia, tuber, potato, rhizome, ginger. Okay. Corns. Sorry. Tuber, potato, corns, Balakoteswararao, rhizome, ginger, tubers. Okay, different type bulbs, onions, bulbs, onion. So these are the examples of natural vegetative propagation. The first one is leaves. In bryophyllum plants, we can see that leaves are, the new plants are growing from the edges of the leaves. Here, stems, runners and stolons, aerial weak stems. When they touch the ground, they give off an adventitious roots. When the stem portion of the parent plant is cut off, by having these adventitious roots, it leads its life as an individual. Examples: Pastoral, jasmine, runners, watermelon, bulbs, onion, corns, Balakoteswararao, tuber, potato, rhizome, ginger, and 2 or 1 more examples also is there in your textbooks. Okay, now I am going to explain about the artificial propagation. Sometimes the plants vegetative propagation is done by the artificially by the human beings for their own purpose, or it is our traditional practice method. That is vegetative propagation, artificial vegetative propagation. Okay, the artificial vegetative propagation. In this mode of reproduction or this mode of vegetative propagation, the first one is cutting. Okay. Cutting. So the natural vegetative propagation, the first one is cutting. Here, in this process, some plants can grow individually with a piece of the parent plant having a bud. For example, here some plants can grow individually with a piece of parent plant having a bud. Having a bud is cut off from the existing plant and buried this cut part in the moist soil. Okay, cutting. What is that cutting? Some plants can grow individually when a piece of the parent plant having a bud is cut and buried in the moist soil. Okay, from the existing plant. After a few days, the cut part having a bud develops the roots and it continues its life as an individual. Okay, this type of vegetative propagation is called cutting. We can see this type in the rose and hibiscus. Rose, hibiscus. Okay, that is cutting. You understand? Some plants can grow individually when a piece of the parent plant having a bud is cut off. ఒక మొగ్గ ఉన్నటువంటి కొమ్మ భాగాన్ని తుంచి దాన్ని తడినాల్లో పాతి పెట్టాలి. అప్పుడు అది తన జీవితాన్ని అది కొనసాగించుకోగలదు. ఓకే, when a piece of the parent plant having a bud is cut off and buried in the moist soil from the existing plant. Okay, after a few days, the cut part having the bud develops its adventitious roots and leads its life as an individual. Example, rose and hibiscus. The next one is layering. In this method, we can bury the one of the branch of the plant that having at least one node. Node means ganupu. Okay. The piece of the parent plant which at least contains one node, having a node bent towards the ground and buried in the soil. Buried in the soil, that means covered with moist soil, and leave the tip of the portion above the ground. And leave the tip of the portion above the ground. After a few days, the buried part in the soil, it develops and advances roots. Okay. After a few days, if you cut the branch from the parent plant, the plant with having the node continues its life as an individual. Okay, we can see this type of one in the nerium. That is layering. Do you understand? So, cutting the parent plant having at least one bud cut off and buried in the moist soil. Layering, one of the branch with at least one node bend towards the ground. Do you understand? One of the branch with at least one node bend towards the ground and buried in the moist soil. Okay. After a few days, the advances roots develops and leads its life as an individual. Node means kanupulu. Mana gamiste in the sugar cane we can see that one. Kanupulu antam kada telugulo. So the nodes are appears on the sugar cane. Okay? The branch of the parent plant with having at least one node bent towards the ground and buried in the moist soil. Okay, after a few days, the buried part develops advances roots and leads its life as an individual. Example, lyrium. And another one is grafting. What is that? Grafting. So it is very important process, grafting. So how does the grafting process take place? In this grafting method, two plants are joined together. Two plants are joined together in such a way the two stems are joined as a single plant. Like this. Okay? So in this method, two plants are joined together in such a way the two stems are going as a single plant. Here, the stem portion which is attached to the soil is called stalk. Another stem portion which do not have the roots is called scion. It is one of the most important and desirable method which can develop the flowering plants or fruits with a desirable characters. That is grafting method. We can use this type of in the flowering plants, apples, citrus, guava, like that. Plants. Do you understand grafting? In this method, two plants are joined together. In such a way, they joined the two stems go as a single plant. The stem portion which is attached to the soil is called stalk, and stem portion without the roots is called scion. Okay, when these two stalk and scion is tied with a twine thread and covered with the plastic cover or plastic cover. Okay, covered with plastic cover and tied with a fine thread, and they continue his life as a single stem or single plant. So this is most wanted method in developing the desirable characteristics of flowering fruits or flowering plants or fruit plants. Like I already told you that rose, apples, okay, like that. So here I am going to explain about the importance of grafting method. In your kitchen, in your garden, two types of characteristics. Two characteristics plants are there. Two types of characteristic plants are there. One plant is giving big fruits, but less in number. Less number. The taste is pretty good. Other plant is producing more fruits, but less in. Okay? Other plant is producing more fruits, but they are neither tasty nor big size. Do you understand? So, two types of plants are there. One plant producing the big fruits, the taste is pretty good, and other plant producing very small seeds, small seeds more in number, but they are neither taste nor in big size. So which method is useful to get or develop the fruits with desirable characters? The grafting method is useful to us. We have direct question. Vicky's father wanted to grafting method. One question is the very important question. Most of the times it came in the public examinations. What is grafting method? This is the process where the two stems are joined together in such a way they both grow as a single plant. Okay, the stem which is attached to the soil is stalk, and stem which do not have the roots is scion. And both the stems are tied with the twine thread and covered with polythene bag. Okay, this is the process we can develop the more desirable characteristics of flowering plants and fruit plants. Okay, so here is one case is there in your garden. What has happened? Two types of characteristics plants are there. One plant is producing the big fruits, pretty taste and less in number, and other plant producing more seeds. So that means more fruits but less in number, and they are not taste. So which method is suitable for us to develop to change the characteristics? Grafting method is useful. That in this method, the young scion is able to produce the fruits. Very important bit. In the grafting process, either stalk or scion producing the flowering and plants, flowering or fruits. It is done by the scion. Okay? So, another type of modern technology is there, that is tissue culture. Up to now we discussed the cutting, layering, grafting. These all are the traditional methods followed by our elders. Yes or no? What has happened in the modern days? It has replaced by the technology, that is tissue culture. In the tissue culture, the plant tissues or plant cells are kept in a growth medium along with the plant hormones. In such a case, in the simple time, that means in a less time, more number of plants are produced. Thousands of plants are produced by this process. Do you understand? So dear students, this is vegetative propagation. So natural one, leaves, unibryophyllum, stems, aerial weeds like runners and stolons. Okay, we discussed that. In artificial vegetative propagation cutting, the parent plant having a bud is cut off from the existing plant and buried in the moist soil. It develops adventitious roots. Layering. The stem portion or one of the branch of the plant with at least one node. So one node is bent towards the ground and buried in the soil. Okay? After a few days, it develops its adventitious roots and continues its life as an individual. And the grafting method, we have just now discussed. Two plants are joined together here. Okay? After that, tissue culture. Okay? So dear students, this is enough for today. In the next section, we will discuss about the remaining types of reproduction in the plant. Thank you.